This is the second round of the tournament in Metz in France. I was playing black against Vladimir Onischuk. He turned out to be the winner of the tournament, and this is the only 1 point he gave away, as I managed to win this game. So this comes from one of my favorite variations of the Ruy Lopez, and in this end game I was slightly worse for the whole game. Here I thought I had really good drawing chances after the move a4. I thought he would take it and we would just swap a pair of rooks, and I thought I was going to hold this position pretty comfortably. But I totally missed my opponent's idea here. He played a move g4. I didn't calculate this at all. And well, actually at this point he was thinking for around 15 minutes. Just all the way down. I think it was like move 30, 32 or 33. So he was down to like 3 minutes. So basically he was just trying to win really badly. He has like, I mean, he's playing white. He's got like more than 100 points more rating than I do. So obviously he's trying to take his chances here. So g4 is trying to take advantage of my king looking a little weak. He's got 2 rooks, so it does seem like, especially with this extra control here on the king side by the bishop and the knight, and my funny pawn structure in the center, it does seem like white is able to get some play here. And after g4, well, I didn't really take this idea very seriously. I didn't think I was under any sort of major pressure here. I took this pawn, and he played rook g1. And I took on b3. This whole thing, I mean, it's pretty much forced. I don't really have a choice other than like to take on g4 there, and a takes b3 also is sort of a natural follow-up. Otherwise, I'm just going to be suffering on the king side. My king's going to have to probably just, you know, go back to e8, and so I thought I'm going to, you know, do the same, but I'm going to have a pawn on b3 for it. So he took on g4. I have to go to f7, because if I go to the h file, I'm probably going to get mated after some precise move after king h5. I mean, it just really doesn't look very well. Okay, so king f7 and rook h1. So there's not really a direct threat other than white just sort of, you know, dominating the king side. But there's no checkmate or anything. My positions here in the center is still solid. So I just took on c2. So rook h7 check. King e8, yeah, I still wasn't really sure what he's trying to do here. So he just played rook g7. And this was, I think, move like... it still wasn't the 40th move, so I guess I was... I mean, this would be like move 36 or 37. Because, yeah, he was already under severe time pressure here. And in this position, I thought that objectively I have to be okay, as there really isn't like too much that the white has, and this c2 pawn is extremely dangerous. But it probably, I mean, it certainly does take some precision here to really, you know, pacify all of this white's pressure here on the king side in the center. I played king d8. Now I was very curious, like how he's going to proceed here, and he just played bishop c1. So there seems to be some kind of a knight d2, knight b3, or maybe knight g5 at some point, those kinds of ideas. But again, I mean, my pieces are, you know, just, or they all defend each other, and I just played rook a1. So in this position, I'm just threatening the obvious rook takes c1, and this does look very dangerous for him. He doesn't have an immediate follow-up here on the king side, and just plays king d2 to defend the bishop. And this really seems like, I mean, black really has to be okay with this bishop blocked there. I always have I have the b4 square, both for my bishop and for my knight, in some variations. So here I just played king d7 to, I mean, I cannot really play king c8. Ideally, I would like to play king c8 and king b7, but he can just grab on e7, and he'll be left with 2 pieces there for a rook. So I mean, so that's probably gonna be okay for white. But I can play king d7. And this is basically his only trick here, is that, I mean, he takes on e5. I gotta take it. Yeah, and he's got this really strong 7th rank here. But after king d6 with this great knight on e5, everything seems to be okay for black. And here's where he went wrong. I think this is move 40, and he takes on c7. And after rook f8, white is just lost because he doesn't have a check. The rooks now turn out to be really uncoordinated because d7 is covered by the knight, and this rook cannot move because this one will be hanging, right? And f2 is basically is gone. So in this position, rook c7 just turns out to be losing. And after the move f4, white is still okay. I thought after knight d3 there's no way that black can be worse. So rook c7, and after rook f8, this is the move 40, and my opponent said he totally missed rook f8, and yeah, it just turns out that this position is lost for white. Now this piece will basically be in trouble here. He played king c2 and rook f2 and bishop d2. Now I played rook g1 with the idea rook g goes to g2, and there's basically no way to make sure that the bishop stays alive. The reason why I didn't play the move knight f3, which also seems like it's getting the piece, is that there's a perpetual check here. So the reason why knight f3 is not getting the piece is that there's a perpetual check here. So you can just play rook c to d7. Now if I go to the queen side, he's just gonna follow me with his rook. And if I play king e5, he just has rook h5. Now this bishop's actually turned out to be very useful. It just controls the whole diagonal here. So my only move is king f6, and after rook h6, my only move is king back to e5, and he just repeats and he makes a draw here. So the advantage of playing rook a to g1 instead is that the knight keeps controlling the d7 square, and there's no way to prevent the move rook g to g2. Rook c8. Well, actually, what I meant to say is there's no way to really prevent the piece from getting taken, because rook c8 does make it seem like, okay, the white is okay, because now after rook g2, there's rook d8, and the rook again follows the king on the queen side. It's still a draw, but this time knight f3 works, because this rook will basically not be cutting off a 7th rank in that variation that we just looked at. After rook d8 check, now king goes to e5, rook h5, king f6, and now after rook h6 I have king d7, and the king makes a nice little circle, and basically I'm just grabbing the piece and winning the game. So in here he played e5, and again I have king e7, and here after a few more moves, I won this game.